same page and try to make him go right as much as possible. You see how dominant he is right here with his left hand. He's going to get fouled. He's playing for the whistle. And if you go under that screen like that guy just did, that Jimmy, he's going to hit the long ball.
And that step back three, is the step back three unstoppable, or can you get out on that?
I'm starting to think it's a travel the more I watch it. But it's been effective, and you have to keep your antennas up when you're playing against James Harden because he's dominant.
No doubt about it. And Ryan, you know how effective that he has been all by himself, but especially with Clint Capella, and CP3 has been as well. What impresses you most about what Capella's bringing to the Rockets?
Well, I love his energy that he's bringing. He's running the floor. He's all over the place. And better yet, fellas, he understands his role on the team. He knows if he can get a hit and roll to the rim like crazy, he's going to get a lob dunk, and he and Harden have that 1-2 punch type of combination. And defensively, Harden needs Capella because he covers up all their mistakes, and he brings length and athleticism. And one thing me and Tony were talking about earlier, he has the ability to get up and show on a pick and roll with his length and recover back to the rim. And if you don't have to help, you're not in a closeout situation. That's huge for the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, and they're virtually unbeatable when they have Capella, Harden, and Paul in the game at the same time. We're going to get Griff talking about CP3 here in a second, but check out some of these statistics on Paul in Game 1. Very simply, it's one of the worst playoff games this future Hall of Famer has ever had. 1 of 6 on threes, only 14 points, and more turnovers than assists. Yikes. And he had that terrible turnover at the end of regulation that led to a potential game-tying long two, as it turned out, by Jimmy Butler. Here's CP3 sitting down with Kristen Ledlow.
I've had so much fun this season playing off the ball. It's the first time in my career I've played with another guy who the other team decided to trap. You know, it's still taking some getting used to because I've always been that guy. You know, so it's fun, and we just figuring it out as we go. Obviously, we've had different things happen here and there, but the biggest thing we talk about is communication and trust, and we built that along with the other guys during the summer, over the course of the season in different situations. And guess what? It's probably going to be a game some point in these playoffs where it maybe doesn't click, or we get into an argument and stuff like that. And sometimes those arguments are healthy. You know what I mean? It shows, first and foremost, that you care, but we both know where we ultimately want to get to.
When the shots aren't falling the way that they were, and you rely so heavily on the three, does your mindset shift at all?
We still take our shots. Like, we expect for it to go in at some point, and you may just hit it at the right time. And that's been one of the refreshing things about, you know, playing in this system with Coach D'Antoni and stuff, is that it's going to be nights like that, you know, but at the end of the day, we got to be who we are. You know, wins are hard to come by, especially in the playoffs, and to have somebody on your team like James that can do what he did in Game 1. Obviously, that's not going to get us there. You know what I mean? Every night, you know, other guys, we got to step up and be there.
How do you approach Game 2 differently?
We didn't come into this series expecting them to just roll over. You know what I mean? In the playoffs, you got to go out there and take it game by game, and each game takes on its own personality. You know, while we can say we didn't make shots, you know, they could go and say Cat didn't score much. You know, so I'm sure they have things that they're looking to get better at, just like we are.
Great stuff with CP3 and Kristen Ledlow. Griff, what is this on Harden to help Paul, D'Antoni to help Paul, or is this just on Chris Paul playing better?
Well, I got to be honest with you. There were several possessions where, when you saw Teague, who went for 15, 9, and 8, CP3 didn't look physically sound to me. There were moments I was really concerned about him laterally. It was unusual to see him moving the way he was. He missed several games towards the end of the year with hamstring soreness, and he was moving like a guy who didn't feel quite comfortable. So that's what stood out to me more than anything else. I think what he and James have done together has been staggering in terms of getting guys open looks off of primarily ISO action.
Yes.
You know, they're going and getting one and creating the opportunities. And when he can't do that, it's a totally different look that they have. They still protected the ball pretty well. They only gave up 1 point on their 11 turns in that game because they got back in transition so well. But I expect to see, if CP's able to move the way he wants to, I think he'll be much more aggressive with Teague tonight.
Ryan, Karl Anthony Towns had 9 field goal attempts. This is a 2010 All-Star. Is this on Towns being more aggressive, or is this schematically on Tibbs to do a better job of getting him the rock?
Listen, I've had to guard Karl Anthony Towns several times, and he's one of the most talented young bigs that I've ever competed against because of his shooting, the way that he can finish at the rim, and he's got a patience and a feel for the game. But you didn't see that. So what Karl Anthony Towns has to do just to start, he's got to demand the basketball. And when he gets it, he's got to either aggressively get to the rim or he's got to kick out to open shooters. And he can't settle too far away from the basket. See, he's got to finish that play. He's too good not to make that play. Look at him again. You got to be physical. This is a man's game. They can put your hands on you, T.A. You know this in the playoffs.
Yes, indeed.
And he's got to run into the post. That's James Harden on you. And he's about 15, right? He's 15 feet away from the rim.
He ran away from the block as well.
You know, I'm sorry. I'm not running away from that play. He's got to finish, and he's much better, and he's doing what we're doing right now. He's sitting there watching this film saying, I could be better. And now you put your teammates in a tough situation because they need you to spark the offense. There you set the pick. James Harden can't be that comfortable. James Harden's got to be screaming for help. He's got to put him in the rim right there. He's about 7, 8 feet away. So if he dives head on the rim, gets big, he's going to demand a double team or a finish. And he's got to absolute dominate for this Minnesota team to even have a chance in the series.
Game 2 coming up later on tonight. A bunch of Game 2s tonight. Victor Oladipo and the Pacers looking to put a hammerlock on their series with the Cavaliers. Could you imagine if they won 2 games in Cleveland? Wow, we're going to find out tonight, 7 o'clock on TNT. Push, 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 push.